we're just doing them with local fields again, and that's a pond where we found the reed buntings, and there's all kinds of...
It's a little pond like, but there's a few.
There's coots and water hens and
there, like.
little grebes on there.
Yeah.
Just seen swallows dipping into it, catching flies on it. But you got all the ghosts, you can hear the linnets in the distance, there's goldfinches, there's everything.
We've just seen one fly.
One just flew to here and it's midway.
From the little nest
Walk
from
up. You didn't even have to get into it properly.
Well, we've been there a few times, haven't we? But it must have been a bit early for them.
A little bit early. It's got 5 eggs in there. Lovely little nest. But we'll just
to find one, as we have kind of been looking for them, but I think it has been a bit early.
We'll just come doing through here, come over the top of the field, walk there. Just doing in between here. The bird jumped out. We didn't even think there would be one there. But it's a brilliant little find, that one.
I like the little nest.
Aye. It's not very well hidden, but
to be honest, I mean, now when you were a kid, you used to not find them all the time.
Aye.
It wasn't something I looked for, because I used to mostly like being in woods and stuff, so I never really looked in these.
Aye.
But I haven't seen that many of these, to be honest.
No.
It's not something I would...
They're a very pale blue egg with a little orangey,
one,
blotchy type of spot on them.
Probably the ones I've seen was probably what you showed us, but I expect them to be like what they'd build them more in the middle.
In there, aye.
Like thicker
you get them on the edge, thicker port. It's you'll not get them as high up in there as much as what you get them in this port. Like, but the nesting colonies, there'll be more. There'll actually be a few. Right, we're gonna have a walk around and walk down to the pond. We might even find the reed buttons again. I've just seen I think there's a duck there with young ones, or the grebe with young ones. I can see them on the water.
They'll all have young ones, won't they?
We'll have a walk down and see what one spot. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that coot's kind of frantic in the middle of the water.
It's like an alarm call. It's got a young there, like, unless something's attacking.
It flew from the other side.
Can't really see now.
Into the middle there, it's been gunning up and down under the water.
I keep meaning to fetch the binoculars, I put them in the car so I don't forget them when I talk about them.
We're going to have a walk down here. Anyways, I can see I think it's a duck in the bottom corner. We're doing closer to the pond here. But all you can see is that there's absolutely hundreds of them.
Are they the mayflies?
Aye, the blue mayflies.
Yeah. You normally see the odd one, but there's hundreds of them. Like flying along the top of the pond.
Not mayflies, man. What do you call them?
You get damsels.
Damselflies.
Aye, that's it, damsels. They're not mayflies, they're damsels.
Damselflies, aye.
It's not really something we knew, but we just kind of guessing, but they're damsels.
Well, actually, we're hoping to see dragonflies now.
Years ago, we would have probably thought there were dragonflies.
Aye, little dragonflies.
And we're just kind of learning, aren't we?
Aye. But there's hundreds of them. This pond is mature and canny. How you've got all this, like the reed there, and all the rushes over the back and that, like it's...
I thought it'd been smart. Some of the big ponds, what's been like man-made,
aye,
to attract wildlife. This one's actually half the size.
Oh, aye.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. When I was a kid, there was a little bit of a fence in the middle, and a little bit of muck around it where the cows used to go in.
Well, there's been times when this has been completely
dried up.
That's what I'm saying. This isn't being man-made. This is just sort of.
It's just a natural pond. So it's got all this natural food in for the grebes and the coots and the water hens, what nest on it, and the ducks. Where the ducks nest around it, probably up in the brambles.
See where there's millions of these, hundreds of these damselflies.
Aye.
There must be mating because there was a couple.
I've seen a couple stuck together.
So I think maybe that's what it is. The mating. I don't know what the mating thing is when they lay.
I haven't got a clue.
Just did a guess, like. I
didn't have to lay the eggs on the thingy, like in the reeds that are on the water, so they can. And the larvae lives in the water, like dragonflies do. The larvae in the water.
Them living under the water for a couple of years.
2 years, aye.
Larvae on the come up. I'm not sure.
I'm blinded.
We'll have to read up about them. Just so now.
That sun's blinding us. Now, like looking at the water and just.
According to the weather, it was meant to rain all day, but it's actually quite a nice day.
I'm sweating.
Now we'll have a walk around there.
I will have a walk around. We've seen the coots over there. We've seen the grebes over there last time, and now we'll have a walk around and have a look, see what we can see here. Is
There's
there?
a
Go
load
on.
of house martins, aren't there?
Aye, house martins, aye.
They must be catching all the little flies and stuff on the
The
pond.
damsels.
There's a few of them actually.
Aye, there's at least 10 or 20 of them.
Well, there's plenty on the pond to eat for them, isn't there?
Oh, aye.
If you think for one of them little damsels would be quite a size, like little meal really.
Yeah, aye, compared to the little midges and moth things, what they catch, well, it's not moth tiny big, like, but
Aye, but
they're actually a bit of a meal. And there's absolutely thousands of them on the water.
flew me love. Just buzzing in me ear.
Yeah, aye.
Aye, there's not like a good pond.
Right? No, like it. No, just throw over heaves that one. They're just scooping down and scooping
Aye,
them off
just
the
like-
water, haven't they?
Picking them off the top there.
Aye.
It's got to be them, what they're going for, isn't it, though, the damsels?
The damsels, aye.
It's the biggest thing on there, like, on the top of the mashing, that's what it's getting.
Yeah.
Definitely must be mating because I can see a load of paired up there now stuck together.
Aye,
Quite
the
a
damsels.
few.
I don't know if some of these are, they look like sand martins, I don't know. They've got a brown back, they can't be sand martins because I think they're all brown. I don't think sand martins have got a forked tail. It's they've got black backs on them. The house martins. They haven't got the red throat, so they're not swallows. And they're not swifts because the swifts are all black and bigger. I can't see any red throats, so there must be
Oh,
house
they're
martin.
definitely not swallows, are they?
Could be a bunch of young swallows, like feed. Not in all. Look, no, they haven't got the big long pin tails on them. That reed bunting over there's making a load of noise.
Aye, it's right, it's got a nest somewhere.
Aye, just
there,
across
hasn't
there. Aye, we'll find that. It was a good sight to see them. Them house martins just skimming the water and taking the flies off.
We found one last year there, but it was more on the side. It was pretty dry, but it seems to have nested where it's getting a bit of swamp.
It's like it's all swamp and
water,
boggy,
isn't it?
no, isn't it? Aye, it's like the water's still flooded.
We'll have to invest in some wellies.
To get to these ones, what we can't get to.
It's not very deep, it's actually.
No? That's right.
When you get in the middle of it, but it's
Aye.
not even a foot deep on the edges.
Yeah. And all of the birds' nests, like the coots and the water hens, are just around the edges, and the grebe. The grebes are normally easy to spot. They'll be floating. They make a floating nest, and I still haven't seen one, even though the birds were here.
We'll have a look under there.
I will walk around and see if we can scare one in. I'm just going in here to see if I can carefully scare the reed bunting out, because this is roughly where it came from. So that reed there, got to try and work my way around to it. See roughly where it came from. That bunch there. This is getting wet. I don't want to get soaking. I'm just making sure it's near where I'm standing before I get in.
Right.
Oh no. I jumped out of that one there, like. I couldn't mistake it. I'm just trying to be careful at the same time, just in case. Not there.
I'm always cautious.
It's full of water. I don't want to be standing in now or on now. We've got too much time yet.
Wellies would have been ideal.
I don't want to wreck now. But I cannot see it in here, I guess. Oh, I can, it's got eggs.
Is it?
It's on the top of that reed. So I'm trying not to disturb all this, because it's...
Why just didn't you just get a quick shot of it?
I've already got the camera on, like. Right, I'll just stand this, stick up with here. Brilliant.
Got there then.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. Let's see. 4, from what I can see.
Nice to find because we'll never find these on the kids.
Oh, it's a bit of a challenge.
Well, they're not the easiest.
Just want to get a clear shot through there.
Definitely not the easiest. The first one I'd ever found in my life was last year.
Oh, challenge completed.
That's what. It's good when you actually get to look for something and then you actually do find it.
Aye, we'll come here specifically for these. We've just been one there and that duck in the corner.
Came here to have a look for this in the linnet.
Aye, we knew there was...
As soon as we came in the field.
Aye, all the gorse. It's just riddled with linnets. Colonial nesters, loads of them. It's nice to find that though. Brilliant.
We'll get away and leave it out.
Aye. Aye, I'm just getting in a little bit closer here just to get a better shot for the video. For a walk. Because I couldn't really see them properly through that. I've manoeuvred myself around just to have a good little look in. We've already got some video of these last year from the couple, and that's another one. Brilliant.
It's like to say last year was the first time I'd ever found one. Anyway.
They're a lot easier than what I thought. They look quite fresh, them eggs. No, clear.
Aye.
So they've just been reared lately.
Yeah, we'll get away then.
Aye. We're just looking at that bird there because it's an actual buzzard.
It's definitely a buzzard, like.
Aye. Because the kite's got the big forked tails, there's the crows coming straight up them of it. Them jackdaws that nest in them trees, aren't they? Aye, that's the buzzard sound.
Definitely didn't see much of them, weren't you, either?
No.
I mean, you didn't the kites, but there's hundreds of them. Yeah.
Oh, aye, since they introduced them all. I'm gonna lose it now for the sun. Nah, it's way over the distance. You got Chopper Wood straight over there. It could be nesting over there somewhere. Still, it's an unusual sight in this area. We're standing here watching because of them elderberry just across there. There's 2 elderberry trees. There's a pair of goldfinches. We're just giving them 10 minutes to let them get settled. We scared them as we walked around. They probably got a nest in there. We're just gonna want to have a look. We won't have got a nest in there.